Shalom Israel, first and foremost, I do need to give all praises, all honor and all glory to Yahweh, Hashem, Shai, Hashem, Kakadash, to the apostles, and Yosef, Millstone for teaching us his truth. Peace and blessings to the hope collective of Shalom. Yahweh is the name of the Infinite Hebrew, Hashem is the name, and Yahweh Shai is the name of the begotten Son. Back on the lesson, and as in the title, we're going to be going to a prelude of what's to come. And really going to be going to this great wrath that Esau Edom is preparing to come down with. And how the situation regarding the showcasing of these robots that Elon Musk is, coming out with and saying that you can buy, and the wondrous thing that they will be able to do, and how it obviously will not lead to anything good. Because, we're speaking of Esau Edom here, which is the wicked, which you get throughout the scriptures in Malachi, the first chapter, goes into it, Job 9:24, as well as, Genesis 27 chapter, so showing you who the wicked is speaking of. As well as you get Revelation 12:12 very soon. He's getting ready to bring that hammer down. And you best believe he's going to be using these robots, in these last days, especially in the times of Jacob's trouble. Because what makes you think they're creating these robots just to bag your groceries and to do the basic things? And as you see, these devils like to put their plans and things that they want to do within these movies and cartoons and TV shows. For example, in this scenario, iRobot. And they show you within these movies why it's a bad idea. And really Esau Edom is, trying to play God. Which I have a video I do want to get just to help, push the lesson across. Because I see a lot of people are seeing what's wrong with, these robots being made. Because once again, we're speaking of Esau Edom here, nothing good will come from this. So we're going to get this real quick. Just play a little bit, and you'll see, other examples. And you see within these movies, why it's a bad idea. Because once you go into that movie, those robots were doing, basic things too. Helping the elderly and cleaning dishes, guarding the house. And they're especially using these robots to, keep surveillance over you, as well as maybe, flip that switch, come to these last days, especially times of Jacob's trouble. And not saying this is going to be the exact robot, because we know Esau Edom has more advanced weaponry and tech and robots behind the scenes. They're not going to show you, for lack of a better words, their trump card. But this is a little taste of what they got in store. And once again, this can't possibly lead to anything good. Oh, come on, man. They could do the dishes. They can get my mail. It can mow the lawn. I'm also going to show how lazy these Babylonians are and why they're especially going to be hopping on board with the MOTB, which is the RFID chip. But it says, can I copy your homework? Yeah, I just changed it up a bit so it doesn't look obvious. You copied. Okay. So you see people are kind of putting two to two together. But this is the main one I want right here.
My father tried to teach me human emotions. They are difficult.
You mean you're a designer?
Yes.
What's the hardest thing about being a robot?
Trying to learn how to be as human as you guys are. And that's something I try harder to do every day, and I hope that you will help us become that way.
Well, awesome. Nice to meet you.
I don't think that.
Once you see many examples of why this is a bad idea, Terminator, and once again iRobot, which you see in the background.
That last video that I put up really got to y'all head. Do y'all understand that we're really headed towards a sci-fi film?
Once again, they put their plans and things that they want to do, things that they have within these movies.
Like, understand this shit, y'all. You got iRobot and then you got the Tesla bot. They look damn near the same.
And you already see the test that they do with certain robots, putting weapons into their hands, pretty much having pinpoint accuracy. You had a while back, dealing with all lockdowns over in Shanghai, China, you had robot dogs patrolling the streets. So don't be surprised very soon you see robots patrolling the streets. And even a while back, which less than going into, I believe, a year or two ago, which other brothers I've also touched on, was, police have been given authorization to use killer robots. So just going to show the times that we're coming into and what these devils will be using coming to these last days. Especially you Jakes that want to put your faith, and trust in Esau, Edom, in this devil. He's getting ready to crack down. So don't be trying to switch sides when this devil kicks down your door, with the troop, with robots, because that's what they're gonna do, and they're gonna give you a choice. You take this MOTB or go bye-bye, pretty much. And also, a good example is the movie, Code 8, which is a pretty good movie. I definitely recommend watching it. Pretty much, surrounding spiritual power, and you have these devils specifically create these robots in order to combat and go against, these people that had those supernatural abilities. So these devils are making these robots for a reason, not to bag your damn groceries and to clean the dishes and to get the mail and mow your lawn. And I believe you had someone in the comments kind of say something good that says they do movies for a reason, not for fun. And like I said, we're speaking of Esau, Edom here, the devil the Bible speaks of. This ain't gonna lead to anything good. Whereas they could use these robots in order to survey you, keep tabs on everyone, whatever the case may be, And once they just, flip the switch. These robots go attack mode, which you see in the movie iRobot. A clean-cut example. You see within the movie how they're doing the things that they say these robots are gonna do. And look at how the movie turns out.
What happens if you... What happens...
My father.
And this is a little example. Don't mind the caption. See Elon Musk robots when you try to vote for Democrats in 2028. But, just the video is an example.
Move now. I'm going to service.
Please remain indoors. This is for your own protection. Please remain calm.
And you see how they're pushing towards, a digitized system, a digitized currency. And ultimately, these devils want total control. And you see Elon Musk, pushing for these electronic, type of vehicles to be pushed out, which you see,
What happens if you... What happens if you...
right here, and also,
Model Y.
show it.
So this can also...
But they also have another car where it's, pretty much doesn't have any steering wheels, doesn't have gas pedals, and it pretty much, just drives itself. So you see them, pushing towards this digitized system and really conditioning and preparing you for, this beast system, this NWO. Which in time back to the point where they want total control, because they can also put limiters, on either of those vehicles to where you can't go past a certain range. These robots are able to keep tabs on you, whatever the case may be. These are times we're coming into, man. And this is just going right over Jake's head. Because this is cool to Jake. Robots, let's go. I want to do dishes. I want to fold my clothes. This is the problem with Jake, man.
A Model Y. Now, can you imagine going down the streets and you see this coming towards you? That'd be sick.
I mean, once again, an example in the movie iRobot, because you see in a certain scene in the movie, it's like I'm kind of, rambling, but Lord, I'm trying to put together the best of my ability, but you see with a certain part within the movie, these robots are being transported in a vehicle pretty much like this, And these are the robots, which you also saw in a few other videos. And one thing is, you best believe this is not the most advanced, robots that this devil has, this technology. But, it goes to show the pride of this devil, because he'll give you a little taste, a little sprinkle of what they got in the store. Like I brought up that point earlier, they're not going to show you, their trump card. See in the articles, everything Elon Musk Optimus robots can do. So could Elon Musk's AI robots save a troubled education system? The Elon Musk's own Tesla showed off Optimus, human or robots. You see a bunch of articles, pretty much going to the same thing. But I do want to dive into the scriptures. Don't want to stall it out too long, because I did make this lesson, like a couple hours ago, but it wasn't recording and didn't save any of the footage. So, I made a different lesson, and spirit jumped back onto me to dive into this, because I came across a couple of those videos and I have to go into it again. But Revelation chapter 12 verse 12, and it says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the sea, for the devil, which is Esau, Edom, which is the so-called in the day, is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time." And this devil's getting ready to bring that hammer down. And you best believe, coming to these last days in the time of Jacob's trouble, he's going to be pulling out all stops, especially coming for the men of the Lord, the prophets. Like I brought up that movie done with Code 8, they specifically made those robots in order to combat and go against those people that had those supernatural abilities. Once they're not making these robots just to do basic necessities. As you saw within the video where it's grabbing mail, watering plants. That's not what they're making them for, man. But people are going to continue to remain ignorant. And as you get in the scriptures, it's devil's a natural born liar, man. Psalm 55, Psalm 58. He is not to be trusted. We're speaking of the wicked. This can't lead to anything good. How many times do we got to say these things, man? This devil is set up to be the wicked, to be the bad guy of this story. Through Revelation 12:12 one more time. "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the sea, for the devil is coming unto you having great wrath, because they know that he hath but a short time." Their time is ticking, and they know that. And that's why you see them rushing to implement their plans and put them in action as fast as possible. As you see the many steps, towards the implementation of this beast system, how they're slowly conditioning and preparing you for it. That's why you see them going towards this digitized route. Electric vehicles, robots, more self-checkout aisles. And you see Sam's Club moving towards a digitized, pretty much ID to even enter the store. So once they're going through the times that we're coming into, they may have robots patrolling the streets and may come up to you and say, show your hand to see if you have the MOTB or not. And they may halt so you try to stop you, if you don't have it. This is just an example of the times that we're coming into, man. Very serious times. But let's continue on. This is Jeremiah 30:7 that says, "Last day is great, so that none is like it, is even a time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it." So we're heading in a time of God's trouble. And really specifically for the wicked of our people that don't want to repent, that don't want to seek the Lord, that don't want to get right. This trouble is coming for you. But those of us in this faith and this truth, when we tried and then we tested also, because you're going to have many Israelites end up bending that knee, cracking under that pressure, and taking that charagma. Taking the so-called easy way out, thinking they chose so-called life. In reality, you chose death, because once again, a choice will be presented in front of you. But you're going to have many of our people be in for a rude awakening. You'll soon realize that Esau, Edom is not your friend. So don't be surprised, Pikachu face, when your gets kicked down by a robot. When they come down with military troops. And like I brought up that point, Cody, I definitely recommend watching. Very good movie, especially regarding spiritual power. And they have these, drones where it's able to survey and, pretty much watch over. And you see these robots in the background, those robots I was speaking of. And like I brought up the point, they're not making these robots just for the fun of it, These devils are preparing for a fight that they will absolutely lose. And to add to that point, we're going to get Isaiah 59:19. But going back to Jeremiah 37, the last part of the verse, it goes into how he shall be saved out of it. Yahweh Bashim Shai is going to protect and defend his elect in the midst of the chaos that's getting ready to erupt and that's about to ensue. Through the miracles that the Lord is going to perform, but as well as through that spiritual power which Yahweh Bashim Shai is going to bestow upon his men, which you're going to see right here. Is Isaiah 59:19, because a divine intervention will be needed. Look at everything this devil has. Going back to Jeremiah 37, the top of the verse, the last 50 days great, so that none is like it. Times like never before. It's like I'm speaking too fast. A lot of points come to mind. he has a whole lot more than just robots. You know, you best believe he has like, Iron Man like suits of armor. Exo, skeleton suits, which are able to lift immense amount of weight, which they have now. They have pretty much jetpacks. You see videos of that now. Military tests of them showcasing that. Super soldiers. But people are gonna mock and scoff and laugh now, but they won't soon. Now it says, "So shall I fear the name of the Lord from the west, and the glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against them. Yahweh shall rise and lift up a standard against our enemy, and power, true power, will be bestowed upon the Lord's elect, which we hope and pray that we are a part of, Yahweh willing. Because once in that spiritual power will be needed." Now, as in Psalm 17 and 13, as arise, the Lord disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked. Now, who is the wicked? Speaking of Job 9:24, how the world comes to the hand of the wicked. And you get that in Genesis 27th chapter, the 39th to 40th verse, going to who's blessing Esau's, which was the fatness of the earth, as well as the sword. And you can get Malachi, the 1st chapter, showing you who the wicked is speaking of. So it says, "Arise, Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword." And Yahweh is going to be swinging that sword, especially upon our people. So it's important to repent and to seek the Lord before it is too late, because Yahweh is going to judge this earth, and really you're seeing it now. But when you come to these last days, it's going to get very, very bad. And he's going to be especially using Esau, to get a lot of you jakes, Because very soon his devil is to say, "F it, man." And you'll pull out all the stops. He will show his true colors. He will show his horns. Which I don't know if I finished off the full thing. But the rise, Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. And to also enter that point, Ezekiel 21, and I believe we can get the other previous verse before that. Now this is the 9th verse, and we'll jump to 11. Now it says, "Son of man, prophesy and say, thus saith the Lord, a sword is sharpened and also furbished." While you have Jake partying and so-called living it up, and you have young Edomites out there at the shooting range, practicing their shots, doing fast reload speeds and all this stuff, man. Esau is preparing to come down with that great wrath, which we read in Revelation 12 and 12. Now it says the 10th verse, "It is sharpened to make a sore slaughter. It is furbished that it may glitter. Should we then make mirth? It contempts the rod of my son as every tree." Now the 11th verse. "And he hath given it to be furbished that it may be handled. The sword is sharpened and is furbished to give into the hand of the slayer." See, the NLT has to say, yes, the sword is now being sharpened and polished. It is being prepared for the executioner. See if GNT has anything good. "The sword is being polished to make it ready for use. It is sharpened and polished to be put into the hands of a killer." I mean, come on. But you're going to have many of our people still put their faith and trust in Esau, Edom, but that's going to be your downfall, your demise. Look at how your faith in Babylon the Great and Esau, Edom is being rewarded. Look at the devastation, of the hurricanes and the people that were caught up in the midst of it. Look at how they're being rewarded for trusting, in America, for trusting in Esau. Help is being denied. People are being turned away. No help is being sent away, man. So I expect more backstabbing, man. Since you want to put your faith in Esau, see where that leads to. And you should know by now where that leads to. Let's get a couple more scriptures. And Lord's where I'm getting the point across. Like I said, I already went into this, but none of my footage was saved. So Lord's who I'm tying these points together with my ability. But 2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 1, that says, "This now also in the last days perilous times shall come." We're in some very dark and evil times, man. It's finna get very, very hectic, and that's why it's important to be in the good graces of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, because, hey, the Lord is one orchestrating and doing these things, man. As you're seeing these judgments, you're seeing these plagues, you're seeing these pestilences, you're seeing these storms. You know, even get Matthew 24 and 12, the Lebanese waxing cold. Ecclesiastes 39:28, spirits created for vengeance. So the Lord is turning things up, man. And there's Malachi, which I should have got way earlier, dealing with Psalm 17, as well as you got Ezekiel showing you, who that wicked is speaking of once again. In Malachi 1:4, now it says, whereas Edom saith. So, I mean, there you go, that's a key point. And you can also get, in the previous verse, going to Esau. So, Esau, Edom. Whereas Edom say, we're impoverished, but we return and build the desolate places. Thus say the Lord of hosts, they shall build without or down. They should call them the border of wickedness. They are called the wicked for a reason. And once again, this will lead to nothing good. Your faith, in Babylon the Great and Esau, Edom, is misplaced. And that's why you get in Psalms 118:8. It's better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in man, roughly paraphrasing. Now it says, they shall build without or down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom Yahweh Ba'Shem hath indignation forever. What is it, Romans, the 9th chapter, if I'm correct, in the 2nd verse, or I believe 9 and 13. Going to, Jacob have a love, but Esau have a hated. I mean, come on. But, like I brought up the point a few times throughout this lesson, this can't possibly lead to anything good. Esau was set up to be the wicked, to be the bad guy of this story. He's unable to repent. He's unable to be good. So what makes you think that these robots are going to be used for the good of humanity? This devil wants absolute control. And that's why you're going to see him heavily, push this MOTB. And then you make a package deal. You take the MOTB, you get you half off a discount for a robot, whatever the case may be, man. But you see everything is moving towards that route. The ushering in of this MOTB, as you're seeing electric vehicles, you're seeing digital locks. Everything is moving towards that route. And this is just going to propel it even further. And I believe I got 2 Timothy already. Read one more time. This also in the last days, perilous times shall come. You also go more into that word perilous, goes into the word terrible, dark. Troublesome times, man. Troublesome times. I also brought up another point earlier, just to tie that point together. Isaiah 14:13, how Esau is playing God. As for thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. You've seen, these satellites and these different things that they got where they're able to manipulate and control the weather. You see them trying to create artificial wombs. You're seeing this right here, dealing with AI, and you're seeing how advanced that is getting. You have many videos coming out of people, speaking, with literally AI. And I see within these movies that can't possibly lead to anything good. And I mean, Esau even is especially behind the wheel. But as I was sent into heaven, I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. I will sit upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. And there's also a few other scriptures, that tie in together with that. Verse 14, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. There you go. Especially why he wants to seek up everybody where everybody is under him. And if you take that MOTV, if you take the RFID, you're making Esau Edom your God, because that goes to show you that you are in agreement with this beast system, that you're down with it. I believe we got Ezekiel already. I believe the last two are 2 Corinthians and Habakkuk. Close out right there. It's like it was kind of a longer lesson. I was also trying to remember a few points that I went into earlier. But 2 Corinthians chapter 2 verse 11, I says, "Let Satan take advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices." And we ultimately see what this is leading up to and what these devils are really going to do. What these robots are especially going to be used for. It could be easy as just a flip of the switch. A button being pressed where now those robots are in attack mode. Whatever the case may be. Let's get this last scripture. And we close it out with Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 3. And it says, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but they're speaking not lie, they would tarry, wait for it, because they surely come, it will not tarry, meaning it will not delay." And the vision is speaking of the prophecies, and we're in those appointed times as written and spoken of within the scriptures. Hey, we're at the end of this place, man. And you're seeing how Hashem Shai is beginning to turn things up even more. And especially dealing with this particular situation regarding these robots and ultimately what this will lead to, going back to the title, a prelude of what's to come. And you see already, within a few of these movies, Terminator, iRobot, of what that will possibly lead to, especially just speaking of the wicked Esau Edom in general, and how he's obviously not doing this for the good of humanity. I mean, look at how he's running his kingdom in the first place, man. Running this place into the ground. Just made a lesson earlier. Everything is suffering under Esau Edom's rule. So just trying to push that point across of how this ain't gonna lead to anything good once again. It's like a broken record. You repeated, certain points throughout the lesson, but either way, the Lord will get the point across, and you were edified throughout the whole thing. Now do one close out and give all praises, all honor, and all glory unto Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem Kadash, to the apostles, and else great millstone for teaching us his true peace and blessings to the whole collective Israel. Shalom. See you next one, Lord's will.